last, true wholesome actors that everyone can appreciate, no matter, what side of the fence they were on politically. Everybody likes Andy Griffith.
Well, that was his southern charm too. Is that like he was no nonsense, but he was never loud. Of course, he was very calm and like I said, here it is. Can you see me now, Clinton?
No, because I'll see you as Jenna Ortega.
Okay.
I've got the screen sharing now.
Which is fine because sometimes I can't see the stuff that you're talking about until like 30 seconds later because the Skype has our video up.
But I always remember like he would do like, oh, well, he kind of would turn his head up and look down at him like, well, now that doesn't really add up with what you said earlier. I thought you said that you were over there.
There we go.
Is that not what you recall? Like, I remember the show, and I remember his and I can tell already she's not doing that. It's very clear right off the bat. That'll be interesting for people old enough to know. Like, it'll be a final talking point. We can just go like, or we're rolling in Xenodamus, slide her to the end. We'll get to that last because we got game and stuff.
Yeah.
But we got that.
That's the Concord.
Do you have the fair games thing up there? Yeah, you do. That's that game. All right. Well, that was like I said. I thought somebody did some terminations, but I gave them some on my phone, so I could have sworn. Cover the Rockstar terminations already? Did we cover that last week?
I don't think
because of Suicide Squad, they started firing people. We might have covered it already.
Maybe.
Yeah, we did, because wasn't he showing off his cars or something?
No, that was weeks ago.
Ubisoft.
Okay, then we may not have covered it, but I thought Rockstar did some firing recently, and everybody was saying that it was a Suicide Squad triggered terminations. I don't think I sent a link. You need to search, but
At long last, they did it.
But yeah, I thought Rockstar let some people go.
I didn't hear that. That's news to me.
That's why I said just do a search, find out. We'll hit Reddit and see. I mean, we all know that the company that did Concord is going to be doing so.
This is the one I shouldn't look up.
There you go, Lil.
A new showing up.
Okay. That's all right. Maybe they haven't got around to it yet. Because they did Suicide. Because didn't they do Suicide Squad?
Rockstar? No, I don't think so.
Or maybe I'm mixing up the company that did Suicide Squad. That might be it. It could be I'm getting that. The Suicide Squad game. You're going to want to put in game there, fella. Yeah.
Well, I know.
You know what's funny is
developer
Rocksteady. Type in Rocksteady. I'm sorry.
But it's the amount of people that were pimping out Concord on Twitter actually played Concord. The game would probably still be around, but there's been a lot of defenders on that space, which I thought was interesting.
A lot. 6 days ago.
And people were scrambling just to get their last achievements before the game shut down.
I mean, this isn't really surprising now.
I know, but I mean, oh wow, almost cut in half.
Well, that's the QA department.
Oh, well, I mean, you've seen Suicide Squad?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is the problem with a lot of games, dude. Like, the QA departments either ain't working or you ain't got enough people, one or the other, you know. So maybe justifying cutting maybe those people who weren't QA-ing. I don't know, man.
Well,
because games have been coming out shittier and shittier.
If they're
dude.
smart, the 15 they kept were the 15 that said this game's not good to go, and then they fired the 18 that said it's great. It'll change the market. The modern audience will love it.
All right, let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype.
It's Victory Sunday for the Dolphins, so you now have Bloodaxe.
What about the Dolphins?
They pulled out a nail biter at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Win or lose? What happened?
They won. They on a 52-yard field goal. Time expired. They won 20-17.
Yeah. He wasn't cussing when he was talking about that, so obviously they won.
No, you'd have to get it. Like, you got to get another 5 minutes in before he'll go. You want to know what happened?
I don't know. It's the Dolphins. He might have dropped one early. You know?
if they would have lost, I don't know if I'd be on the show because it was a nail biter. I
need
swear.
to know when the next time we play y'all. When I don't really care as much about
Dallas?
Houston, but Dallas. I need to know when the next time it's Dallas versus Miami, so me and you can our square off.
That was last year, and Miami mopped the floor with the Cowboys. So yeah.
Shut up. That was last year. You know what? Next time that they go head to head, me and you, 1v1 gears, PvP, 1v1.
Look,
I'll do that.
I'm not a big.
I'll put on
big
cowboy colors.
Not a big football fan, but I will say good healthy rivalry is nice. You know, like me and my boy Brian. You know, we used to have our Cowboys and not Cowboys. I mean LSU and Gators rivalry. Tigers versus Gators. And that was always fun, even though I wasn't really big into the sport. You know, I get the rivalry of the sport.
Well, we have to rival each other because neither one of our teams is going to the damn Super Bowl. So we just rival each other so that there's a chance that one of us will win because it's just been bad for both of them for so long. And we're just sitting here going like,
oh, yeah. Although Dak Prescott, the quarterback from the Cowboys, got paid today. It's like a $60 million per year contract extension he signed, which is absolutely insane.
So there you go. We won the money. We didn't win the game, but we paying them.
Who do y'all play today? I'm kind of curious. And this is kind of weird because we don't talk sports on Dicejunkies, but I am kind of curious.
Oh no, I only watch the most important games.
Oh,
that's why
you're
I don't
playing
care.
Cleveland. Yes, I hope you win because Cleveland's in the AFC. So yes, I hope go Cowboys.
Hey, go Cowboys. Like, I get in when it matters. I'm not that big a sports guy, but, I mean, if we're in the playoffs, I'm going to check the playoffs out. And if we ever go to Super Bowl, I might try to get tickets or at least throw a Super Bowl party.
Saints are playing against the Cowboys on the 15th.
Uh-oh, that puts us against each other, don't it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's the Saints, man.
It's the Saints. Man, look, I know it's the Saints.
Dude, New Orleans.
But that's
plastered.
That's my heart.
Oh, no, okay. I was saying, I didn't think they've been
47-10
down this year.
I don't know, man. The Saints ain't.
No, the New Orleans destroyed the Panthers 47-10.
Yeah, I saw the Panthers.
That's why I'm like, I mean, I don't know if it's a rivalry. The Saints, I thought, were kicking some tail.
They may be this year. Yeah, I
well,
may have to watch.
If we
some.
stop you, I'm not sorry. If we stop
you know, now, you know, knowing you guys' team, I'll at least have to watch the Saints if they come up against you guys because. You know, I don't have much reason to watch because I need that rivalry to.
Oh, hey, we'll sit down and watch the game together, man. And I'd love nothing more than y'all are so tired from whooping the Panthers that we managed to get you. They roll out like, man, we destroyed the Panthers last.
But it's the 15th. 15th is Sunday, so yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be a fun little after the show thing or before, depending on when the game pops. If it happens before the show, you'll get to hear about it.
12 p.m., so it should be before the show.
All right, so we may be showing up, and one of us will be doing a victory drink, and the other one will be like, well,
one of us may have a black eye.
Only me, because like I love Dallas, but I just don't know about the Saints. Like,
you like to grind on people's nerves, no matter what it is, over fighting game or watching football. You're gonna grind and just.
If you lose, it would be the most miserable time you've ever had.
That's the black eye.
I'm going to go, don't worry, they only lost because you were watching and you were rooting for them. I was somehow making your fault they lost.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, games.
Yeah, anyway. So big announcement coming from PlayStation this week. An important update on Concord. Oh.
One for Concord. Give me a tap, man. This is... You were gone too soon. We didn't even get to monetize you that much.
Oh, Concord is gone.
Temporarily.
I mean, they're refunding the games. They're taking back the physical copies.
But there's a petition.
How temporary can it be?
But there's a petition.
Oh.
It has like 1,000 signatures.
It's got more signatures than it had players, huh?
Concord petition.
Oh, my God. If that's the case, that would be hilarious if more people signed a petition than they ever had Concord players. I will laugh.
That's Steam, though, that we only have that info on Steam. So,
all right. Still, I want to see if you can get us a number.
Let's see.
And here's the thing: everybody's been all the do you know who's? Media.
It's up to 1,803.
That's more than double the concurrent. That's more than triple almost triple the concurrent players they could pull
on PC
or something
No.
like that?
They couldn't have had much more than the same amount on the PlayStation. That's got to be more than the total concurrent.
They guesstimated 3 to 4 times more on PlayStation than PC.
I doubt that. That's a guesstimation for real. And the only reason I say that is because PC tends to beat console sales on most things, and we both know that. It tends to, dude.
Generally on Sony exclusives, they say it's usually a 3 to 1.
For their flagship IPs, not the random crap they put out.
I'm just saying.
No, this is an opinion. Yeah. I'm saying that, yes, Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, yes, Squaresoft games. There has not been a new IP. I might be wrong. Please, this is a great chance to get your shots in at Q. I'm gonna give y'all a freebie. I will say an opinion, but with very much confidence behind it, that Sony has not been able to launch a new IP in a year at all. Every new IP has been mediocre at best. And this is a new IP. They have not. They have only been able to sell sequels. And that's it. That's it. They've been able to sell their own IP sequels. They have not launched anything new successfully. I do not believe that this had a bunch of PlayStation players. Because if it did, we've seen games that had, because 3 times would be almost 2,000. It'd be 1,800 to 2,000 players. We know games that servers were up right now with that number. We know that. We looked them up. There are games that servers are being maintained and they only have 1,500, 1,600 players. They closed that server down so fast, I do not believe they had more than maybe 1,000 to 1,200 at best. I'll give them double. I would love to see me proven wrong, but this is a new IP.
I can't find the article now, but where I was reading, I was doing some research because I was curious about what's the number on PlayStation, and most of these places that I could find numbers on, they claim that there's usually a 3 to 4 multiplier on whatever Steam sold of a PlayStation exclusive game.
I don't think that's the case even with their main IPs dang there. That sounds like a large
But
difference.
you got to understand, we're going off of one number. We're going off of...
Because it's far more
We're
PC
going off
gamers.
of Steam concurrent. Now, Epic also sold the game. So we don't have numbers for Epic, and we don't have numbers for PlayStation.
Well, no, I'm talking about, PlayStation by itself. I don't believe that for... No, I am saying for this. I'm saying for Concord, a new IP, $40 game tag when something's normally free. I don't think they're quadrupled it. I think they doubled it. I'll give them double. I don't think they quadrupled it. I'll be shocked. Because in that case, they probably should have kept the game up at least a month just to see if it could make it. I will honestly join the team that says they canceled it too early if they hit nearly 2,000 players and they only gave it, what was it, a week and a half? That's crazy.
Hell, you probably don't have that many people playing Redfall right now.
Redfall's down to I think almost double digits, if not single digits. But
So
and that server is still up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, they're putting out to make it offline. Go ahead, man.
that'd be fine too. So here's a question, and this is probably going to be more reckless speculation from everybody, but do you think it's going to be a free to play with trying to recoup money through cosmetics or experience boosters, or do you think they're going to take a $200 million tax deduction on their taxes for the loss of this game?
I can answer that easy. It depends on if I'm right or Zeno's right. If they were hitting Zeno's, and that's not Zeno being right, but just his information he pulled being accurate. If they had 4 times those numbers, maybe. If they're like I said and PlayStation had 1,200 or less, no. The server cost would not make that sustainable. It wouldn't. It wouldn't make it sustainable. But if they could get between Steam and PlayStation and all the other platforms like 4,000 or 5,000 people, maybe. Just to try to just leave it up long enough to try to get their some of their money back. But there's no way, if my estimate's true, and they only got honestly, I don't even really think it's double. I'm being very generous. I think 1,000 or less was what they got on PlayStation. Then no, it's just not enough money
I don't
there.
know. Because a lot of the stuff that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of chatter on X or Twitter or whatever people are calling it nowadays. And there's been a lot of people that are, I mean, if the amount of people that actually are talking about it in a positive light actually played the game, it probably still would be operational. But most of the things I've read is, it's not buggy. There's no massive problems like what we're seeing with Outlaw. And so if it is free to play, you will see a boost of people that can play a game that's not glitchy, although it's not necessarily aesthetically pleasing, but you'll see a big boost of people.
Well, the problem is that you have better options in free to play. Because don't forget, First Descendant is still out. And WoW is First Descendant doing way better. They keep saying that it failed because it's an oversaturated market. Pull me some First Descendant concurrent player numbers.
Pull up the new character that you got released this week, the Sniper.
Well, no, let's look at the Steam numbers real quick because they're claiming that it wasn't the things that we said were wrong with the game. They're saying it's an oversaturated market. Now, while First Descendant was free to play, First Descendant is also heavily monetized. We literally complained about it being hundreds of dollars for some of the character unlocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's still 54%.
The market's not dead.
So a game that has a 54% rating
currently has 36,000 people playing it.
Wow.
And they couldn't get 20% or maybe not even 22%. Like they couldn't get anywhere near these numbers. So,
and that's just Steam. I have several friends right now playing it on Xbox. And if you want to see, in my opinion, one of the big reasons why Concord failed, look at the new character versus the character they're pimping out for Concord. The new Sniper model is going back to the whole male gaze situation, to where it's something is pleasing to look at versus that whatever you want to call thing in the yellow outfit in Concord.
I'm gonna defy you on it even being the male gaze. You know what? I have actually shockingly been watching a lot more gameplay videos. Like I started diversifying my spread. There are a lot more female players than we think. There really are. I actually was surprised at the number that I ran across when I started looking for it. But here's the thing. So I'm going to just clean it up. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm going to say it's not male gaze. What it is people want to play a cool character, awesome looking and action-y character.
And that is why that number is happening.
I say male gaze, but I mean, even
because that ain't male gaze. That is
appealing to the eye, and not a bloody beached whale that's stretching out some spandex in Concord.
Because, dude, to put it into perspective, in that's Fortnite, but even Overwatch, one of the characters is a gorilla. He was popular, and he was a gorilla with glasses.
Right now, Fortnite's doing their
I mean, Fortnite's not
their
fair.
Doom and so I mean, where you can be Dr. Doom, you can be Mysterio, Spider-Man. I mean,
but you also be Peter Griffin and I think Stewie and Brian maybe.
Peter Griffin, Stewie, yeah. You can be a
Ninja Turtle
blob, basically.
And that ain't the male gaze. It's a turtle.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying this supports your concept of people just want to look cool, because there's so many things you can look like on Fortnite is really why Fortnite's successful. It's not the greatest shooter in the world.
To put it into perspective,
but you can do cool dances and you can look cool while you're playing.
Gears, when they did the Terminator stuff, everybody loved playing the T1. No, the T1. Everybody loved playing T1. And when they put out the ability for you to play as the robot, the Gears robot, the drone DR1.
DR1.
And other one. Yeah. Do you know how often we would go into matches and everybody was just playing the robot, but the robot looked cool and had voice on it, but just a robot. Mm-hmm. And that's not a male, well, I mean, maybe there's some weird people out there, but not a large portion of male gaze. But people were just like, dude, I like the robot. It looks cool. I like the design. I want to be the robot. So I think that sniper character, if it had been a big dude or a robot or an intimidating looking alien, it would do just as well. here's a good example. If they were to say, what interesting character would you like to add to this shooter from Mass Effect? I guarantee you more people would say an Asari, a Krogan, or a, what's it? What they call the Tullen? What they call the
Krogan.
Garrus.
I would
Garrus,
love to be. I know, but I would love to play a Krogan.
I'd love to play a Krogan, and they're butt ugly.
They are
oh
butt
my God,
ugly.
are they ugly? And then even the Asari, they're blue. You know, I mean, yeah, everybody tries to, but they're blue.
But that
with
also,
tentacle heads.
I will say,
And I want to play Garrus's race.
I will say, it also comes down to it can't just be looks. Because I'll be honest, a lot of Marvel characters look dumb, but
Venom.
but it's also background. You make a good story behind a character, and that also makes me want to play. Because honestly, Krogan, I wouldn't want to play a Krogan because of what a Krogan looks like. I want to play a Krogan because of its attitude in the game, and I like, it's just like, ooh, headbutt. Wah.
You could ask, I think, were you the one that played Mass Effect Online with me? No, that must have been Mark. Dude, I played that solely because they added the Krogan. When they added the Krogan, I fell for it. I was monetizing it, man. I was spending money on kits to get the Krogan because I wanted to run around as a Krogan, and I was willing to pay money and play that mode just to be a Krogan. If they added Krogans to Fortnite, I might have to play some little bit of Fortnite just so I could run around just at least once and be like, and I mean, hey, the idea of getting to play a Krogan and shooting Peter Griffin in the face, now that actually sounds fun. Like, hey, cut away this. Blam. Yeah. But see, it isn't always male gaze. It's cool factor, the rule of cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I think killed Concord. Because I will tell you this, mechanically, the game played perfectly great for a shooter.
But here's my thing, dude. Even if it is the male gaze, what's wrong with that? If it's going to sell in your game.
I mean, it's your market.
Yeah.
Also, I hate when people say the male gaze, because you know what they're doing? They're ignoring the LGBTQ community.
Well, yeah.
There is plenty of women that like women.
Because I will say, Fortnite, it gives that too. Every woman on Fortnite.
Almost all of them are lesbian, or at least a good chunk of them.
Well, no, what I'm saying is every woman on Fortnite is your generic attractive shape.
Not mine, but I like mine. She's cute, but she's a big girl. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You said Fortnite. I keep thinking Overwatch.
So I will say, they got that too, but they got the rule of cool. They've got, history behind the characters because they're still in characters from all the popular IP, and that's why. Yes, Concord tried to make a new IP, and they did.
That's a great idea.
And that's fine. But you got to give a good story to your characters, and you got to make them look cool.
They were trying to do that with their videos. The problem is that the first thing you're always going to do as a human being, we are not sent or feel our literal thing is visual. We are. They actually went into this. There's a science to this. We recognize visually first. So when I see something looks cool, I'm immediately going to go, and then I'm going to look into the story. When I see something that looks stupid, I'm already out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to say. And I'm really bad about this. You saw how I reacted if you're a long-term watcher or you just saw an episode to the Zelda game. That Zelda game that they're doing for Nintendo might be good, but it looked like a game for an 8-year-old. So no matter how, now I'll still do the lore because I refuse to not be well-versed in all Zelda game lore because it's one of my things I've been following since I was young. So I'll do a lore video, but I would never play it because I would feel like a weird as a 46-year-old guy running around what I think a 9-year-old girl would be playing. It's just something that would not make me unable to focus on the game. That's a flaw of mine, maybe. But when you looked at Concord, you didn't see a character you wanted to play half the time. You saw a lot you wanted to shoot. You know what? I know how they can fix Concord. We'll switch after this. You know what? They need to let you play a Krogan and then go shoot all the Concord characters. I'll buy Concord if you put a Krogan in it and I can run around and shoot the big tin can and blueberry.
Isn't that a Microsoft character, though?
Technically, yeah, I think Mass Effect falls under Microsoft now.
No, it's EA.
Well, Microsoft has a lot of EA games, and all the Mass Effect stuff previously is on there.
Well, yeah, that's because they're partnered with EA Play, but EA owns the
They didn't buy EA.
franchise. They did not buy EA. They,
Hey, man, Microsoft bought so much stuff,
Yeah.
I'm losing track of it.
I get it.
know.
That's what I'm saying. No, Microsoft does not have any control over Mass
Would it be
Effect.
crazy if they bought Concord? Like if the studio sat down, they got the guys and put in better characters? Master Chief versus a Krogan?
Oh, anyways. So what's coming after Concord? What do you think? Are they going to learn
next
from their
film?
lessons?
Fair game. Eat the rich because they deserve it. Because how dare they have more money than you?
So after the failure of Concord, many gamers have come out to say, well, the next game coming out of the PlayStation Studios is going to be much better, and that is Fair Game. Fair Game's basically a game that tells you should steal from people who have more than you.
By the way, I will address Flynn. He did crack a joke in there about the skimpy armor. Actually, Flynn, I agree. I prefer
Yes.
a character in cool armor. Honestly, and I can say this with genuine sentiment, and I think Bloodaxe agreed with me. We talked about this. I don't know what the hell the Zero Suit Samus crap was about. I like Samus's armor. The Zero Suit to me was stupid. I never needed her in a Zero Suit. I like Samus and her kick butt armor, and that armor has shoulders like this and a freaking Juggernaut helmet. I love that armor. I agree.
Dude, I
that-
mean, it's just like this, these Fridays, we've been watching that one show, Failure Frame, and that elf girl. And
That
it's
is
just
not armor she's wearing.
And every time she comes on screen, it's like tons of midriff, tons of cleavage, and it's just like, I like beautiful women, I do, and but there's a point where
breaking.
it's immersion breaking. This is a fantasy world where armor matters.
I mean, I just look at this word that said a spray bottle of contact poison says I'll never lose to a female fantasy character. Because you just look at them and go, squirt, and all this skin, and you're just like...
Like every time and they'll zoom on, of course, because anime, they zoom on those parts, and it makes me just go,
And
she
be
should
honest,
really have a plate there or something.
And you may be shocked, but that'll take you out of the anime, because it's a dark anime. It's meant to be serious.
Yeah, it's a really dark anime. Is the other reason.
not comedy.
It's not comedy or playful, and it's like she's in a cloak trying to hide from people, but for some reason her cleavage is still out. And it's
Yeah,
just
she manages to leave the part of the cloak open and makes it look like she's in, like, the world's sexiest bikini wear.
and it's just like really.
So, I mean, I get it. I agree with you that the excessively skimpy armor only makes sense when armor doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball Z, where you defend yourself with your ki.
Yeah.
Where you have an aura effect. But especially in sci-fi, I find skimpy sci-fi armor to be the dumbest. Like, it's sci-fi. You're using high-tier polymers.
Yeah.
Why the heck would you not suit up?
I'll be honest, Fortnite doesn't really matter to me. For one, you got an energy shield. For two,
Peter Griffin.
nobody wears a helmet.
And Peter Griffin.
And everybody gets shot in the head.
Shaggy.
Yeah.
Like, when you introduce certain characters, you stop caring. Peter
Yeah.
Griffin's running around in a white shirt and green pants. We're not trying.
But anyways.
She can't. But no, the magic of anime keeps lady parts from popping out. But I agree. Like for example, now I will say this. There are some exceptions, like Stellar Blade. If you actually know the story of Stellar Blade, it's a cyber body, which means it basically could be made out of metal. So you're like, okay, well, if you're in a cyber body, then what you're wearing may not matter. Now, personally, Sanduskin, baby, I'm sorry. I'm going to do like if I'm going to get a cyber body, I don't care what I look like. I'm going to look like, what's his name, Adam Smasher. I'm going to be like,
Smash, yeah.
or I'm going to look normal, but there's a lot of hidden crap in me just so I can surprise people. It's going to be like I can extend chainsaws out of every orifice. But, at least the cyber body has the concept of maybe your body looks soft, but it's not because it's metal.
All right. Anyways.
But I agree with Flynn. Like I said,
Yeah.
the armor thing. But that's armor thing. But like I said, that's why I said, but Krogans, I just like the rule of cool, man. Heck, 9 times out of 10,
I
play
forgot
something
this
don't look-
game was even coming out.
We
man.
covered it.
I remember covering it. I do. I just forgot about it since then because
And let me tell you why it's getting panned. Because remember I told you earlier, and then Bloodaxe, I let it get rid of this, but if you know Payday, the comment I made to them before the show was that it's not even that you're robbing from the rich. That didn't really matter. That's what every robbery game is. It's that in Payday, you're not a good person and they don't pretend you are. You're a bank robber who shoots people and robs banks. They never pretend that's the right thing to do.
They're making it out to be the moral high ground.
You're Robin Hood, and it's like, no, you're stealing from people because you want to. You're not even in need. You're just stealing from people. And I'm like, dude, don't do the moral high ground. Grand Theft Auto never acted like you were a good guy. You could be empathized or sympathized with, but you're a criminal. You've always been a criminal. You're the bad guy, but you're the bad guy maybe doing it for a reason. But Fair Game doesn't even play with that. Fair Game's like, screw them. We want to level the playing field. And I'm like, get a better job. We want to level the playing field. Like, robbing people isn't leveling the playing field. So that's getting it panned.
Yeah.
Now, me, I don't care. It's all about the game being fun. Problem is, Payday's a better game, probably. I could be wrong. But Payday is super popular, does really well, and they're challenging it.
You know, that type of game, it could go either way. It really can.
50-50.
It really depends on how you portray it. I mean, you know, it's like you know, it's generally at the end of the game you can't be the winner. You know, you know, there has to be.
Well, no, this is a live service, so it's not really a story.
Yeah.
It's a live service game, so you're just going to be committing robberies.
You know, and that's another thing if you take out the story part, because that's the part that makes it okay almost. You know,
no. I
they're
confused
evil.
Flynn. No. Payday is not to rob from the rich. That's this one. I'm saying, though, in Payday, you're robbing banks, though. You're not robbing, like, little old ladies on the side of the road. So I'm saying that every heist is going to be you robbing from the rich. But they don't in Payday pretend it's a rob from the rich. You're a bank robber. Fair Game is trying to play it at, well, you're doing it because it's the right thing to do because rich people are bad. And it's like, dude, just make your game. Don't sell a story. Just make your game. Because that's the first thing they were talking about. And it's just like, why don't you sell your game first and slide that in under the radar? You see what I'm saying? That's the silliness of it. And that's why I go, stop selling your games on not the game itself. I think Concord would have done better if they sold Concord as a live service shooter. That isn't what they went with. They literally, the first thing that you saw on the screen was certain stuff. I'm not rehashing it. What do you think, Bloodaxe?
Well, I think this just goes more and more into what SBI is trying to get people to do. And I don't know if it's cheaper not to include them and just do it, or to pay them and still fail. But I get it. It's the Robin Hood story, and everyone grew up, you know, sympathizing with Robin Hood. But you're right. You have to wrap up whatever you're trying to accomplish in a better story, that even those that don't necessarily lean that way will still appreciate it and enjoy it. I mean, one of the biggest franchises of all time, Star Trek, did some very, very political things in the 60s. And a lot of things that they tackled were, you know, interracial relationships and the Nazis and other stories, but they did it in a way that was entertaining and well told, but you didn't feel like you're beaten across the head with you know, a lecture. And this is what they're trying to do with this. It can be done, and it can be done well, even those that wouldn't normally gravitate towards a game like this. But you're already saying, okay, well, you know, if you don't feel this way, then the game's not for you. And then now you're going to browbeat me for not playing your game, even though you told me the game's not for me. But it goes back to the same old thing that, you know, any message or anything you want to do can be done if you have a good story around it. But they're not even trying. if you're not even trying, then why should I try your product if it's not something that I'm going to be interested in? I would rather go play Gears of War 5 than play your game.
Well, also, it's just a poor strategy. I've always said I don't have a problem with your message because you know what? Everybody has a right to their own message. I've just said, could you at least learn some basic business? You know what? Because that's what Veilguard did. Veilguard, before I knew how magic worked in Veilguard or how many companions you could have or how your commands were controlled. You want to know what I knew? I knew that every companion was pansexual. That was one of the first things I knew about the game. Why? Why would I even know that before I know anything about the story almost? Why would that be the first thing? One of the first things I knew about Concord was that I knew the robot's pronouns. Why was that the first thing? Why was it not that it was a hero shooter and they have these powers? That's all I'm saying is that sell me a game first. And if your game's good, I'll hear you out. I really will. I'll hear you out. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm saying this for them. I'm advising. You should have said, we got a game that we think, because there's interesting things about this game that you two don't know. Probably because you saw this, you lost interest. I checked it out. Unlike Payday, there's actually other people doing heists, and you can steal from each other. There is a PvP element to this heist game.
Yeah, who gets the most and all that stuff.
That's interesting. Especially because you could try to sabotage the other team. But that's not the first thing I found out about the game.
Here's my fun part about an anti-corporate, anti-capitalism game is if you really like this game, you should pirate it.
That's not us, what you're saying.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's what the game is saying. Basically, it's saying you shouldn't support capitalism and these big companies like Sony.
It literally pays millions of dollars to keep games off other people's consoles, using their money to bully their competitors to keep a monopoly on the console market.
Who believes in this game should pay for it.
At least not from Sony. I mean, dude, people try to talk about it, but no. Sony practices the most, abuse of money tactics. They're the largest in the market, and they pay people to not put games on their competitor instead of competing fairly. They are literally not fair game. They're not fair game.
Oh. Well, speaking of games doing poorly or going to do poorly, what about games that are doing good right now? Warhammer 40K Space Marine actually comes out tomorrow, but already has more concurrent players probably than...
It's already got more sales. Their pre-sales and early access sales have already made them the #1 selling game on Steam right now, and they're supposedly #2 overall, only beat out by Call of Flippin' Duty, the record holder at 1 billion copies sold in a week or something. So this game that is about being a big, ugly guy in an armor suit, because let's be real, nobody in the Warhammer 40K universe is cute. Well, maybe the Eldar. I don't know if you're into that. And God forbid you're into the Dark Eldar.
Yes.
But no, you're a big, grubby, old school, with metal bolts hanging out your head, Space Marine, and this game's killing it. So guess what? My goodness, that's not the male gaze.
No.
That's not a bikini or sexy armor. Heck, they got so much armor. It's just a head sticking out of a robot.
So already 134,000 concurrent peak. And the game isn't fully released. It comes out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
These are pre-orders that paid the extra money for paid at least $90 for the game so they could get it 40.
And just
4 days
those
early.
guys are topping it, are killing it. So, tomorrow that number's got to at least double, if not very dramatically more than double.
Yeah.
So, we're going to eventually get it. We're just following our rule. We don't want to be hypocrites to you guys. We said we avoid pre-orders unless you have an established history. We're going to let it land and see what happens day one.
Warhammer has an established history in games. It's not a good one.
Yeah. I fully believe tomorrow everything may crash. Everything may fall apart. This game may shut down. Or, hey, maybe they'll pull an Ubisoft and you got to start over all your progress. Because they are planning a day one patch.
Yeah. Saber Interactive doesn't have, I think, a huge...
What do you think, Bloodaxe? Wouldn't that be messed up? You got all this pre-play time. You got your character level 25, and then they go tomorrow, start over.
It was funny. I got several friends on Xbox that have been playing this. Two of which are females that have been playing this. The fact that I've got female gamers that are interested in Warhammer 40K, I think is pretty cool. But
well, what they like is good games. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they like good PvE and PvP games. And honestly, throw your helmet on. Nobody even knows what you look like. Show them that. I mean, this is what you run around. You can literally run around with your helmet on and think whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, me, I don't really care because, as I said, man, until they get me a non-RTS where I can play as Tyranids or even Chaos Space Marines if I have to, but Necrons and Tyranid. Now, they did say they're going to come up with a Horde mode. I wonder if it's going to be PvP Horde and I can knit it up. If I can Tyranid, then Daddy's happy. Oh, boy. I don't know if I want to do a Lictor or a Carnifex first. The Zoanthropes, man, are kind of boring. They're cool, but they're just so...
So, is Space Marine 2 going to be on Game Pass tomorrow?
It's not on Game Pass, to my knowledge.
Well, I'm looking at something online right now and says, yes, it will be.
That it's on Game Pass.
Yes, Space Marine 2 will be available on Game Pass. The game will be released September the 9th and be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC.
If you say so. I mean, if that's the case, then maybe I'll download it on Game Pass for PC. I have the Game Pass, and I'll do the PC version Game Pass.
Because I thought we covered it at one of the gaming showcases last year.
It's not showing on Game Pass itself, though, is upcoming.
No, it's not. I think earlier today.
Come in the Game Pass, yeah.
We'll go up. There's even, it's not showing. And I don't think they'd be missing that. You know what? We'll know in 24 hours. I mean, hey, save me some money, that's fine. Wow, your search ain't even bringing it up. It's what it is.
This was on August the 7th is when this article was released.
With an S, what are you talking about?
Space Marine. I thought it was Space Marines. Is it Space Marine or Space Marines?
Marine 2.
I mean, just trying to be sure. All right, no, I don't see it. Well, you know what? We'll see which one of us is right. This is always fun. I love being right, so I'll compete with them and say, let's see who's right about it coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, not anywhere.
I mean, the easiest way is go to the actual store, and if you see if you can, it'll tell you if you have to buy it. If you go to the actual Xbox store.
Yeah, I don't even see it on the. I mean, that should have pulled it up if it was on the store.
Yeah. But even if it doesn't, I'll probably end up standing.
Wow, it's not even showing up on the Xbox store.
It's not even in the Xbox store.
Dude, that's not even showing up on the Xbox store. That's weird. You said people are playing it on X. Well, I don't know. You're looking at the PC. Maybe you can't get it. No, that wouldn't make sense. Would it?
No, not people that are playing on Xbox. Rumble
Maybe you can't get it on the PC Xbox store. You have to get it on console. And you can only get it on PC from Steam. Could be the case.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's a possibility. But the game is knocking it out the box. It's just straight up combat-y fun. I've watched a lot of gameplay. One of the reasons I'm not pre-ordering, though, this is a disclaimer for people who are Q-like. The Assault needs a patch. The Assault is the jump troop. And there's some issues with the backpack not triggering. And there's some balance issues with melee because it's pure melee. So a lot of people have been stating that it needs a lot of love and it needs a patch to fix the backpack not triggering, which is bad because one of the main gameplays of it is doing a dodge with your jump pack. So you can imagine how bad it is if you hit the button and nothing happens. You know what I mean? That's going to get you hit in the face because you're trying to do a perfect dodge and your jump pack doesn't trigger. And that actually has popped up on a bunch of before you buys. So it's clearly a big enough issue that many people are experiencing it. Now, there is a day one patch coming. There's a video out. I haven't had a chance to watch it. But that's why another reason I'm waiting, because I want to assault. And if I can't assault, I'll wait. I'm patient. I got Black Myth Wukong. I'm already on my third playthrough. I'm on New Game 3 already. And going for the 4 so I can unlock the special Wukong style. So I have patience. But, yeah. But the game is killing it, which is interesting because that isn't the only thing that Game Workshop did this week. They also decided to put out an animated another animated Space Marine show, and they decided to add something you may have heard them talking about. No, that's not even the worst shot. He picked he's got the worst picture pull. They had the worst picture pull. It is the Crimson Chin, man. Show him that other one you pulled. I think you separated it out, the picture.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to. You're making me, though.
But, yeah, it is a very interesting model. Now, it's one thing to insist there's female custodies. I have no idea why there's a good shot, why they went with the look they went with. See, can you separate that out and just blow it up a bit? So people are making fun of this. Now, me, I don't care. You can shoot yourself in the foot all day. Games Workshop is as ass. We've been in the video long enough. It's ass, so I ain't going to miss them. And that even doesn't show. The cleft in her chin makes Henry Cavill jealous. It's a big German dude with pigtails, man. And there was another shot I want him to pull that shows them standing next to a battle sister, and it looks like an ogre. Like, the character looks like a friggin' ogre, man. The body is just, there it is. They decided to take her out of the armor, and it's not flattering. Check this out, Bloodaxe. Oonga boonga, and you're just and I mean, this is accurate to what a female Space Marine would probably look like in the body. Why did anybody think this was a good thing, though? That's not a very great-looking character. Now, don't get me wrong, I just said 40K characters are usually ugly, but that's kind of the reason why I didn't understand the point of this. It's
yeah, it's one of those things
not
of
going to be
why
appealing.
I mean, with the history of the custodies, it doesn't even make that much sense.
Well, they also have two factions. They have the Battle Sisters and the Sisters of Silence. I love the Battle Sisters. Just do Warhammer 40K Battle Sisters. I want you to see how awesome they look. Just pull me something. I want you to see how cool. Rule of cool. No, and this ain't about sex appeal. They're not designed to look. Usually when I see them, they're armored up. Look, I want you to see how cool they look.
Hey, bro.
What now?
Sisters of Battle, I believe is what they're called. There it is, boom. See how quick it popped up? Because they're popular. Just the images. And I mean, the Sisters of Battle are badass. They don't play. They look like they will whoop your butt. They look like why they cut it off? But the Sisters of Battle are no nonsense, man. They look like hardened kick butt.
That does look badass.
Heck yeah. That's not even the fiercest one. They've got them in bigger armor.
I want to play that. That's actually...
Sisters of Battle are freaking awesome. And note, she's fully
badass.
armored. I can't see anything but her face. You know what I'm saying?
She even got skulls for booby protectors.
They put skulls all over that. And they're real skulls. Jump back and let's grab another one. Like I said, I'm just saying rule of cool, man. Would you want to play Shrek's girlfriend, or would you want to play... No, go back to images. You had a whole bunch of other Battle Sisters on that page. But, they look awesome. Yeah, they look like... That's the point. Who even wants... They're showing a particular one, but there's whole units of them. They keep showing her, but, I mean, one of my favorites doesn't look like her. She looks rough. There's, a monster-looking one that is, a terror. But these sisters, you can see them scrolling through it. These sisters, man, look at that. Is that with the heavier armor on? Yeah, that's her with the heavier armor. And I love that armor, man. That looks like, holy crap. You know what I'm saying? It's got flame torches. And then you see the fully armored with the helmet. You know what I'm saying? They have one with the helmet. These Sisters of Battle are badass looking. I would play if I had to choose between playing a Super Sister of Battle and an Ultramarine.
Yeah, and there's the figurine.
And I mean this with absolute sincerity. If they had Sister Battle playable in there, I like their armor and looks so much better than the blue Ultramarine armor. I'd rather play a Sister of Battle. Because like I said, I always thought they looked awesome. And the stories about the stuff they've done, like self-resurrection through sheer faith and willpower. Yeah, man, they're awesome. So that's just my point, is that, but you jump back to the other picture, they decided, nah, man, people want to play Oonga Boonga, just like I said, just this, and And I'm like, it's just a dude with pigtails. You might as well play a dude. If you're going to include women, you should be able to tell. Right? You should be able to tell. You put a helmet on her, I don't know what you're playing.
Maybe
you put
not,
a helmet on
dude.
her,
I mean,
it could be anything.
I mean, if you're injecting them with male DNA and splicing them, they're
Don't
not
get
going
in
to
a
look.
lore. You'll
They're
break
not
their
going to
little
look
mind.
much like women, right?
We all
I mean,
know that they're using male DNA because a lot of it's the Emperor's DNA or the head guy.
So I mean, that makes sense. If for some reason they decided we needed to do this to women,
they're roided up.
that's
I mean,
what
technically
I mean,
they
that's
are.
what it would
The
look
Space
like,
Marines
right?
are roided up.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? They're lore accurate.
Yeah.
You asked for it. This is what you get. But
Yeah, no, literally.
This
I
is
mean,
why the Sister Battle don't get that. So
yeah.
they're like, oh,
if you're gonna add
I'm
women,
fine.
that's a lore accurate version at least.
And the Sister Battle have even shown, if you don't know this about, all right, if we're going to go into lore, I'll make this quick. Faith is a real thing in the Warhammer universe. No, not like that. It's that the warp reacts to emotions. Thus, the reason the Sister Battle were badass is because of their zealotry. Zealotry grants real combat power in the 40K universe. Because that's what the Chaos Demons are made out of. They're made out of literal emotions. So, yes, it's great to have all the armor and stuff, but as the Sisters of Battle and the Eldar and some other races that don't wear all that have proven, you also can get by on grit, literally. So, I always thought it was kind of cool the Sisters of Battle didn't need all that to be badass. Kind of thought it implied that maybe they're doing it better. Yeah, didn't think about that, did you? That they don't need compensation. They can do it on raw determination and mental fortitude. Crazy idea. And that's the angle I would have played because I'm better at this than you. Ain't that sad? I'm not even on that team, and I'm better at it than them. I would have played them up as bad. What I am.
I get you. I mean,
Dude, okay,
to
would
each
you
your own
rather
horn.
play
Go
would you
ahead.
rather play a guy who cybered out his balls to be badass or somebody that's badass on pure gut? Be
Oh,
honest.
yeah, obviously.
I would.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, that's look at the literature we read, and then
Yeah, cultivation,
Yeah, I
Aaron
mean,
Protagonist.
it's
Not
all
the-
about will and fucking doing it with the gut.
Dude, Rock Lee,
Yeah.
baby, hard work, determination. Rock Lee, Mike Guy had friggin' Madara scared, baby, had him scared, almost killed
Yeah,
him.
MCs who've died thousands of times are training so hard.
Yeah.
You know?
So personally, I'm team, the person that's got the will and the drive over the person who's like, inject me with more Emperor DNA until I'm 9 feet tall. That's fun, but we don't take them serious.
Well, no,
I don't
dude,
have a favorite Space Marine.
that's why, like cultivation, I enjoy reading these massively long cultivation novels. System novels usually a bit shorter because
They cheat.
They cheat.
Literal cheat system.
Yeah. You know.
But anyway, we're bringing this up for them because we don't care. Like I said, we have our favorites. I like psychers anyway, and I don't have to do nothing. I'm a psycher. When they put a psycher in Space Marines 2, I'll buy it. I'll buy skins for it. I love psychers. It was great in Dark Tide. Bloodaxe knows I played Dark Tide. I fully leveled up my psycher by myself when the psycher was messed up because remember they had nerfed it? I'll bite the bullet to play what I like. Yeah, shocker.
Yeah.
Again.
In Martyr, I was a Space Marine, and you played a Psyker in Martyr as well.
Yep, I did. Yeah, I liked Psychers, even though Psychers weren't top dog. But anyway, we're just informing you. We don't care. Games Workshop sucks. Thank goodness the people that made the game weren't listening to them and just said, what do we got in there? Space Marines. What do they do? Kill stuff. What's the story? Kill stuff because you're a Space Marine.
Yeah. Well, speaking of information and informing, I've talked about this game quite a bit, and I finally am here to say it's enough. You've given us enough. I don't need any more.
They put out so many updates.
No Man's Sky latest update adds fishing to the game. I don't need fishing. I've got enough. No Man's Sky, you got a new game, Light the Fire or something like that?
Yeah, honestly, I want to play Light the Fire. Could you guys take a break?
So, fishing, nah.
It's a space game, but they added fishing.
You know, thank you for improving the game and putting all this work in for all these years. You've done enough. You can move on now.
Hey, Bloodaxe, new Gears 5 update. You can bowl. we can bowl. Can I bowl with the heads of the No, just bowling. You can bowl.
Oh.
But yeah, so I mean, dude, I was at work and Jarek comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, guess what?" And I was like, "What, man?" We got another No Man's Sky update. I was like, "Oh, cool. What they add? Fishing." And I was like, "Fuck you."
You can build spaceships. You can do all this intergalactic stuff.
I may try it again just so I can fish.
Can you do anything with the fish? Are the fish radioactive, or are you literally just fishing? Do you need to eat in that game? I don't even think that game has a starvation mechanic, does it?
No, it doesn't.
You can fish in a game that doesn't have a need to eat. Oh, what's next? You know what? Start a family. Start a family in No Man's Sky. Meet an alien, start a family, build a home, adopt a kid.
They just want you to travel from planet to planet to try to find the rarest fish.
It'll be whatever new planet you go to. It's another planet.
Oh.
The last game I fished was actually Far Cry 5.
Last game I seriously fished was the Final Fantasy.
Fishing in No Man's Sky is uniquely relaxing experience. No, it's not. I will guarantee you there is no fishing in video game that is fucking relaxing.
Legend of Zelda.
No.
What was the one?
It's a
64?
game.
Hey, I like fishing as Link. And
If it don't give me
not Link
XP,
to the past.
the only time I go fishing is in Minecraft, and that's to get enchantment books.
Ocarina of Time. I enjoyed fishing as Ocarina of Time, but also that was a earthy, down-to-earth game. But if I could be flying through space and there's sandworms on planets, I ain't fishing. Now, if aliens ambush you while you're fishing, that could be a scary experience. If fishing, like, rolls random encounters, or if there's horrible things in the water, that could be interesting. Now, like, what's that one game where you go Subnautica? Now, fishing in Subnautica seems like it'd be a scary experience because it has leviathans and crap in the water. You sitting on a little boat trying to fish, and there's just... But no. Oh, my God, the amount of different...
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
There's so much you can do with it. It's all about fishing and showing off your fishing skills, man.
Okay, I now have a rule. If the Light the Fire game does not have fishing, because they put it in this game, if that game comes out without fishing, I'm going to think somebody's an idiot. Unless that's what it is. All right, devil's advocate, it's the beta for the fishing in the other game. That's what it is. You're being made beta testers. It's the beta for the other game's fishing. It has to be. It has to be the beta. Dude, come on. You got to believe it's the beta. It's got to be the beta. And that's smart. Put it out for free so no one can complain. Work on it. Put it in your other game. Bloodaxe, what do you think?
Well, I haven't tried it since several years ago, and it was so bad I deinstalled it. But I know Xeno's been he's been defending it for years, so I may actually download it and give it another go. But it seems like a game I would actually enjoy.
I've heard good things about it. But what do you think about? I was asking what you thought about it's a beta for the fishing and the new survival game they're making.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad idea, especially since it's free, you have to pay for it. The problem that you run into that is because the game is relatively popular, you don't want to chase off your audience on a pilot program.
Well, it's free though. It's free, and here's why I think it's genius. You don't piss people off like when you make people pay for early access or you do a beta, and if it sucks, they don't want to buy your new game. Most people that try to fishing, if it sucks, they're not going to stop playing. They're just going to stop fishing. Am I wrong? They're just going to stop fishing.
I mean,
so
Light No
it's a great
Fire.
way to test it.
Light No Fire, I could definitely see fishing in.
It's a survival game.
It's a survival fantasy game.
So beta test it on the people where no one will stop playing your game because of it. But the people that try it will give you feedback for free. They think that they like it because it's something free they got. So you got and also they have a big player base, so you have a huge audience of beta testers.
Well, you do, but what is the purpose of fishing if you don't eat it? It's not a material that's used for crafting.
I mean, you can cook, you can make. I mean, there's just no reason to cook, really.
No, it's a beta test. That's how I say it's a beta test, because you're doing it to test it.
But you're going to beta test something that has no in-game effect.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do it myself just because there's no in-game effect.
Yeah. Yeah, no. But there were people that will, and they'll tell you what they think of it, and it's freebie. Look at this player base, man. Yeah, you got 38,000 beta testers just on Steam. You know what I mean? That's a lot of beta testers for free, and not a single one of them is going to downvote your game because the fishing in the space game's not that good. Most people don't care enough. They're just going to go, forget it. It's some weird free crap they put in. Dude, they put stuff in Skyrim I didn't bother with.
That's why I say they've done enough. They need to move on.
Hey, I'm devil's advocate in saying they're doing it for the next game. Smart move.
Speaking of doing enough and need to move on.
Well, hang on, but some people may actually do it just to see what the alien fish look like.
No, I get it. I joke about it. Look, there are people who are going to enjoy the fishing. I mean, it's an exploration game. It does have, those oddities. There's people that go around and feed the animals and shit like that. I don't do that stuff. That isn't why I play the game. It's a capability of the game, though, just like fishing.
Animal Crossing it.
Yeah, you can Animal Cross in No Man's Sky. Look, I get it. There are going to be people that do it. To me, I'm just ready for the next game.
No. I said devil's advocate because I agree with you that if they weren't beta testing it, this was stupid. This is a waste of time. They should have been working on this game. If they were, okay. Now, that makes me wonder, how good does No Man's Sky play? Because if they did beta test it, that means the engines are really similar. Because that's the only way they could do it. It would have to be a very similar, maybe they put a fantasy coating on their No Man's Sky engine for them to be doing it. Now, that may not be a bad thing, because Xeno's been saying the game plays a lot better now. That's what you've been telling us.
No, the game is, I like the game. When he played it, I thought the game played really well.
Well, everybody thought it was terrible back then. Yeah.
No, not when he played it.
Oh.
When Bloodaxe played it, I was confused at why he didn't like it. But I will say they've added a lot of other stuff. I
died in 15, 20 minutes, but I couldn't find whatever resource I needed to find in order to stay alive.
All I could guess is you were bugged because here's the thing. It points to it. It points to everything in the first hour of the game. It's a walkthrough. It tells you how to play the game in the first hour of the game, all the way up until you get a starship.
I can't say anything because Bloodaxe has got on to me for teasing him about easy games. So I'm not allowed to make a comment. I've been reprimanded.
Anyway, Rocksteady
put me in my place.
Rocksteady hit by layoffs after Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I mean, didn't they already have layoffs because of this game?
I mean, it said it's been over the last month, but people, I guess numbers popped out. But they say they cut the QA team down to less than half. But
for its restructuring.
If I was going to look at which team need to be cut down, well, that's the problem, though. I don't think Suicide Squad played bad. I think the problem was the writing team. And this is why we keep getting bad games. No, fire the writers. I know that's odd coming from Q, who says people need their job. But if you have to do it, why are you firing the QA team? That'd be like firing the QA team from Concord.
Probably. I'll tell you why. Because the QA team probably isn't unionized.
That may be it.
The writers, probably are.
Because to me, what's wrong with Suicide Squad is the writing. Also, the idea that, some of these characters should be using a gun. The fact that Victoria Freeze is not using the famous ice gun as the one and only or primary weapon. The fact that Killer Shark is using a gun at all, when Killer Shark is stronger than any gun. There is no gun he can get his hands on easily that's going to do more damage than a super strength uppercut. But, I mean, it's true. It's not. There's just not. I get it. I get Venom. Not Venom. What's his name? Bane maybe using a gun. No, Bane's really strong. You give him a freaking auto shotgun or a freaking, AK-47, that's still an upgrade. He's dangerous close and far. But anything that he could kill with a gun,
maybe
Skiller Shark could rip it.
Maybe they just didn't want to put too much work into it.
Yeah, but why is that QA's fault?
It's not. But
their job is literally not to judge the game.
You've lost $200 million on the game, and you're having to create these DLC and characters because you promised them. Why would you expect them to be good? Be honest.
Yeah, but
if you've lost that much money on it, are you going to put that much effort into making it?
But the one thing I thought the game did do is that it didn't. I don't think it was crashing and not playing. And now you got less than half the team, which means now the next thing you make is going to have the same bad writing and actually play bad. You see what I'm saying?
They probably don't care about quality of the game anymore, so maybe
I just feel bad for the QA people. The only good thing is I think QA people are in demand. So I do believe that's the one part of this that they've said actually tends to get picked up, hopefully.
Look,
I'm hoping you get new jobs quickly, guys.
Trust me.
I don't blame you.
I feel bad for them. That's my day job. My day job is QA.
Flint's like, Captain Boomerang, primary weapon, gun. I don't even know if he can throw the boomerang at anyone other than out of like a cinematic execution. And how cool would it be if he had his homing boomerang where just as an offshoot, like you're playing Borderlands 3 right now. Mm-hmm. If he had an active skill, he's shooting, but then he has a special where he throws a boomerang and it hits someone. He has different boomerangs. I'm sorry, I'm making a better game again. I need to stop this. Because, I might think I'm better than him at this again, and we don't want my ego to be accurate.
Now, I will say, as a QA, professionally, if I see something that's dumb when I'm QAing something, that isn't necessarily a bug, but I don't think it's also just poor for the customer. I do believe it's my job to say something, so.
Look, you don't even have to know who that is. You just be looking at QA and be like, wait, what's that guy's name? Captain Boomerang. Is he supposed to have a boomerang? I can see him doing that. Even if he didn't know the character, if he saw this dude's name is Captain Trident, he would go, there's not a trident on this character. He'd be calling people, is he supposed to have a trident? No, normally, but we're doing guns. Can we change this? Is there people in the game that do? Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of gun-based people. Okay, we used one of them. There's 4 characters, and we're adding more. Are the new characters gun-based? Oh, heck no. The new characters don't use guns either. You just sit there looking confused. But there are gun characters. Yes. And we're not using them. No. All right, let me fill this application out. But we now know if you're in QA at these companies, please be aware they're firing you like it's your fault, which to me is absolutely BS.
Time for a QA union.
This is bullcrap. Bloodaxe, what do you think? Isn't that messed up? They're firing a QA team on a game that did work, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, actually, I think Xeno is probably on something as far as the QA guys aren't unionized.
They normally don't have to be. You don't fire your QA over a game that works or any product that works. How's a product work? Oh, it works.
But, when you've got to start shaving off expenses, sometimes you have to make decisions that, you normally wouldn't make, but from a business perspective, you got to do what you got to do. In litigation between unionized employees versus the ones who just have contracts, it's cheaper to let go of that labor and just hire new QA for the next game.
Yeah, I will say, man, I'm not in the game industry, so, but working in QA for as many years as I have, I've worked in QA for almost 2 decades now, and QA in the gaming industry is rough. Like I've hired out of the gaming industry QAs, and listening to their stories and how they're treated, how well they're paid. They don't get paid shit.
That makes it even dumber to fire them. You're not saving that much money.
They don't get paid a lot. They're forced overtime. You know, a lot of those just dead nights. You know, and
Yeah, but now I'm gonna play the bad guy. But now I'm gonna put on my fair game hat and go.
Yeah.
Well, by that standard, my QA employees are high value. I get a lot of labor out of them. I can push them into extra labor. I pay them really low. Firing them gets me the least return versus firing an overpaid consultant or writer. There's probably consultants or consultant groups that cost more than all 18 of those employees. You could have got rid of them and kept the guys who...
Your in-house QA are usually your people who know your product probably the best.
Of course, you just said they work crazy hours.
QA is probably one of the most commonly outsourced positions, and we saw what happened with that with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk outsourced their QA.
Ooh, that game came out.
Yeah.
Now, they fixed it, but
they fixed it.
It cost them a lot, though.
But one of the biggest problems they did, they outsourced their QA. They paid them per bug, and so they were just finding the little stupid shit because it didn't matter the size of the bug.
But naked T-posing made it in.
You know, well, the thing is you get flooded with all this piddly stuff. And you're trying to fix all this piddly stuff that's not really game affecting, and you're just making other things worse, you know. And eventually, you gotta put a stop to it. You can't just keep. So I mean, it gets crazy.
Naked T-posing on motorcycles. How did you miss that?
Yeah,
it happened as soon as I got on the motorcycle too. It was not like a small chance.
Trust me, I play me in most of these games. I switched over to a female character playing because I didn't want to see my dick flapping in the wind.
I don't want to see anybody, so yeah. I remember he said, "Man, have you seen this?" And he was like, "Let me see." No, I've already seen my own. And I switched to first. I stayed in first person and stopped going in the menu because it was very weird.
But it was hard to drive if you were in first person. Like, driving was horrible in first person.
I'd rather that. Because it was way more distracting. Because I was on a motorbike T-posing on top of it.
I know.
Way harder.
That's what I'm saying. But it was also it was almost impossible to drive the motorcycle in first person.
Yeah, it was.
So it was either watch your dick flap in the wind.
Just gonna keep saying it.
Don't.
Say that go to one
Not me for once. I didn't demonetize this. I win. It wasn't me this time.
You know, play in first person and wreck all over the place.
Which when you're naked is probably very bad for you.
Both of you played on PC, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I didn't have any problems on the Xbox.
I also think you came in later, though. You did not get it on release, I thought.
No, I bought it for my for my oldest son, and he finished it, and so I came in like 2 months later.
Yeah, they fixed it by then.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. The big patches came out in March.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Either way, PC. Well, then PC was popping it off, but we got a couple more here.
I think this is the last thing we got. I don't think
we're getting out of gaming and going into.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I mean, we're running over, so we're not going to get into the Matlock thing. I don't see a big purpose of that. But we will talk.
It's dumb. Look it up.
We'll talk about this, which just because it's nice to see. Gina Ortega not interested in a female. This basically came out when she was asked to about being in female film roles of male characters.
Yeah,
so basically, they were
roles.
talking about Edward Scissorhands, I think, and she was like, "Oh, well, what do you think about maybe doing a female version of Edward Scissorhands?" And she was like, "Hey, look, it's cool that there's a lot more leading women in, but." She's like, but I want them to be original characters or not take from some other group. And then
She basically said no sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly, as a black person, I know me and Flynn fully understand this feeling. I'd rather have a black character than a race-swapped character because that's derogatory. We're not even going to put in enough effort to bother writing a story for this character. we're just going to color them in brown and say happy, that is derogatory. Same thing with gender swap. It's like, or you could, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what would be great? We've had many years of 007. We know there's at least 6 other numbers. Boom. No, hit me if I'm wrong. I would like to see do 005, 006, 004. Do 008, 9.
Well, I mean, the fact that, the way that 007 is portrayed, it is actually portrayed to be that suave man role. You know, you probably have a suave female role as one of the other numbers.
You got it. See, you got what I was going with. Because it is implied that that number is a number that is handed down, if you create another number, you create the ability to create a history of the 005 slick female operative, and then you can keep doing it in the future by handing it off. You can go to the past and do prequels. You could do the first 005.
Yeah.
You could literally start an entire film franchise on this. You can't even do that with this because we know who the 007s were before. Unless you decide to rewrite and now you screwed it up. I want to know about the other agents. I do. I want to see the black one. They were like, why don't we get a black James Bond? I'm like, are you implying that there are no black agents already? That to me is more.
Well, now we'll say James Bond, whether he's black or white, I don't think matters.
No, it makes sense as a spy though. You can't send James Bond undercover in Harlem or in Africa.
Well, no.
So you need a black agent.
I would say yes. You would have a black agent. I'm saying for the suave male role.
Oh,
You know, that role is not necessarily race specific.
But do you see what I'm doing?
But I get what you're saying.
That the way you even defend that James Bond has had this similar personality is you create the idea that each number is designed for certain infiltration.
Yes, and that's
specific roles, and then you'll have a female agent. You'll have a black agent. You might have one for operating in Asia. Now you've opened it up for a diverse cast. You haven't break the law. It makes sense, and you even explained why James Bond has always been this shaken not stirred. You can make the entire thing make sense. Have a large amount of different stories, and just stick with the ones that work. You even save money. Okay, nobody liked 4. Let's go to Agent 5.
That'd be cool, because you could have Agent 11, 12, 13. These are just regular agents. The double O's, though, the 00s are reserved for...
These are elite.
You know, so you can do something from 000 to 009 and have these specialty roles of the double O's, you know. Then you have like 00 Saga, you know, or whatever.
Be a little lazy and get a little bit of extra money by going, all right, this is 006. This is what they were doing during Goldfinger.
Yeah.
This is what they were doing during this Good Day, Tomorrow Dies, or whatever. You could literally show that there were these other agents doing stuff during these movies to get that little extra, pull the crowd in a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But anyway, Jim, I tell you, I'm happy to see that opinion coming out in Hollywood. It does seem like more of there does seem to be more of Hollywood that is starting to come out on some of the stupid stuff. I will, it's not a lot, but it does seem like people are finally getting to where they're not scared to say what they're thinking.
And the big finale, I just had to do this, and here's the last win. And guess what? In order to make more money, you know what they... Yeah, see? Oh, they did send... Oh, Flynn said they did send 007 to Harlem, and he got caught instantly. That's why 008 is a brother. And you know what? You should tell the story of him going to save 007. Because that's what I was going to say. The finale, and then we let Bloodaxe go. I know he got his on this because he's been in that 007 game as this. You also have one big, powerful tool, guys. We just saw it work with Deadpool and Wolverine. You know another way to push movies? You could have 007 as a cameo.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and a co-op. You look at that. Now you have the 007 that you could put in that movie to introduce the character as well. Money. Hire me. Please hire me. I'm a diversity hire. Hire me. I'll help you make money. We'll get all your little stuff out. I'll have people loving your stuff. They won't even know they love it. They'll be rooting for the trans agent. Because you know what? You might need that guy or girl or they or them. You might need them. In today's world, You need to go to Los Angeles. You got a special agent just for Los Angeles.
Exactly.
And then I lost everybody.
Yeah. All right, Bloodaxe. Any final notes before we close out the show?
Is the trans agent 005.5?
Oh.
I don't need your help. I was doing fine on my own. You know what? It's not for you.
No, it's not for me. It wasn't Harlem. It was New Orleans and Live and Let Die. But that was actually it was a pretty good film. But no, God bless Jenna Ortega for actually saying something that probably a lot of other people would disagree with. But I do find it refreshing that, some of the younger generation of actors and actresses are wanting to do original stuff as opposed to rehashing or gender swapping or race swapping characters, because I think we've had enough of it. And just wait until the new Snow White comes out, and we'll see how popular that switcheroo is. But no, I think you're on. We've seen different agents in different Bond films before, but 005 was always like the traitor, and 003 always dies, and so it would be kind of interesting to see what some of the other 00s would get into, and kind of expand it. And if you wanted to diversify the character, you don't have to swap 007 with a black guy. You can make him 002. I think that would be a great way to bring in some other actors, or you can just, instead of calling it James Bond, you can call it like MI6, or you can call it something else, but kind of be under the same umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be more interesting.
Yes.
It would probably have less flack from the general audiences and less pushback. Oh, this is going to be a side story, or this is a new character in the same universe.
Well, it even makes sense, Bloodaxe. I'm just agreeing with you. I'm supporting you, because think about it. If these roles have been around a long time, during a time when racial tensions were bad, you would need a black agent to go into these areas, because it would be, there was a time that like a white person would literally stick out like a sore thumb in some areas, especially near segregation times. So this could be a role grandfathered in that stuck around, and they said, yeah, we did this when communities were, because there was a time that Asian and Latino communities and all that were very insular. You know what I mean? And that could be where they started. They'll be like, it isn't some weird, like, being racist. It was we couldn't get anyone in that community. We needed a local. So we needed someone that could go in and fit in and do that. And then you've got all these roles, but they were so good that even today, they're still around. And they get sent to, because guess what? Now you get to go places that he didn't go. Now we get to go to South America. We get to go to Egypt and Africa. We get to go. He passed through, but they never had a James Bond that was really set in like India. You know what I mean? Just like that was the whole setting, and he was rubbing elbows with the natives. He just cruised through real quick. I like the idea. Well, no, there may not be a snitch. They're looking for the bad guy. The bad guy is always the evil white guy. Even in James Bond, that's the case. Usually, you don't have to break that tradition. No one's going to go, oh, it's racist, it's evil white. No, dude, come on. It was always that.
All right, with that, we're going to wrap it up, guys.
Sorry, I was reflecting Flynn saying that they'd be a snitch, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, they're telling on the bad guy. And I would not be surprised if it's always,
get stitches.
I mean, come on, Goldfinger and all that. You never like saw the bad guy, and it was like, like a brother, or like guy sitting there like, ha, Mr. Bond, hola. No, it was never hola, Mr. Bond, Senor Bond. It was always like, ha, Bond, I'm an exotic and weird white guy. That's not racist. Oh, you weren't being serious. I know. I'm just making fun of it because the idea of it's like, hola.
Dicejunkies.com is where you can find links everywhere online. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel. Isn't it every week?
We hope you enjoy.